More people have become aware in the last 15, 20 years about Alzheimer's. Seems like we're seeing more and more of it. Shannon Dennany is here. Shannon, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. It really is a significant issue, and I'm grateful you're able to have us on to talk about it this morning.
Well,
big conference coming up, right?
Big conference, the Alzheimer's Association of Western and Central Washington. You know, they do some great work here in the Valley. Just this summer, they started offering Spanish language support groups for families who have a family member with Alzheimer's.
Sure.
That was something that wasn't available previously. And now they're holding a big conference on November 4th for caregivers, for healthcare professionals.
Yeah, you really have both sides of the equation, right? Family
Right.
and
They've got,
professional.
it's kind of a two-track conference. One track is specifically dedicated to family caregivers, and that is being offered in both English and Spanish.
You know how significant that is? Let me tell you. I started to put a post together. In fact, I wrote a post for our Facebook about this conference. And as I hit post, up came our Facebook page, and Lance Tarmy had already posted that very same story. So he saw the importance of this and beat me to it by about 30 seconds.
Sorry about that.
I took mine down. Thank you. But we both said, hey, this is something that our audience needs to know about. And so we're happy to be able to have this conversation.
Yeah, so you'll get, if you need information, you need specific phone numbers and address, website information, you'll find it right there at newstalkkit.com and also on our Facebook page as well.
So let's add to the conversation. Bob Leroy, he's with the Alzheimer's Association of Western and Central Washington. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Excellent. So coming up on November 4th, we're going to get tools and encouragement for family caregivers and healthcare professionals alike, both sides of the equation, huh?
Yes, indeed. And as you've mentioned, both in English and in Spanish, we're really very pleased to be able to bring this conference to Central Washington. We've just been so energized by the level of interest and support from the community. So we're really looking forward to this.
You know, let's just take 2 seconds out here to talk about the disease itself. I bet if I grabbed 10 people off the street and I said Alzheimer's, they would just say, yeah, you kind of lose track of who you are and where you are, and that's it. They don't see it as a progressive, fatal disease. Would you think that's a fair statement?
I think it is a fair statement. There is so much that we don't know about the disease, and for the general public, it's still very much an enigma. It's something terrible that happens to other people, except that it's getting harder and harder to ignore. You know, Alzheimer's is the third leading cause of death in Washington State, and we estimate that there are currently over 150,000 Washingtonians who are living with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia, and they're being looked after by over 350,000 folks, mostly unpaid family members. So this is really a public health epidemic.
No kidding, man. Those numbers are crazy numbers. Well, with that kind of a scope of the problem, then certainly we do need to arm ourselves with information. People coming to the conference on November the 4th, what can they expect to learn, to take away from the conference to help in their battle?
Well, they're going to learn a lot about how to care for a loved one with dementia, things like relationship changes, how to communicate, how to keep people safe, and how to manage difficult behaviors.
That's one of the things that we often see is some anger and belligerency. It's one of the side effects of this, I guess. And how hurtful to you as the loving family member to have that directed at you. Mom, you don't even know me, and you're acting like this. You know, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's very challenging, and in fact, one of the huge issues in the disease is the stress that falls on caregivers. In fact, far too often, it's the caregiver who ends up getting seriously ill and even dying, which makes things all that much worse for the person with dementia and the family.
Well, I mean, because of the stress involved?
Yes, yeah, just because of the emotional toll and the physical toll. I mean, really, caregiving can consume virtually every waking moment, every ounce of energy, and it's really not something that you can prepare for. It's very challenging, and because of the progressive nature of the disease, the conditions and the needs continue to change.
And I take it that's why you give encouragement to these folks. I mean, most of us can never imagine having to go through something like this with a wife or a mother or a father where they eventually do not recognize us. How tough is that?
Well, it's very difficult, and also it's very difficult because we want to believe, because it's true that there's still a person in there, and you just live for those moments when you can connect with your loved one in some meaningful, if only momentary way.
Wow.
All right, so the conference is coming up on November the 4th. Registration 8:30, begins at 9, ends at 3:45, and there's going to be a lunch provided. Where are we doing this at?
It's at the Yakima Convention Center, and I'd also like to point out that we will not charge family caregivers to attend. We do charge a registration fee of $50 for professionals, but they're getting continuing education credits for their participation.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right. And, hey, if you'd like more information, you want a phone number, or if you can visit the website to register, you can find it at newstalkkit.com, but their website to register is ALZ, as in zebra, Alzheimer, ALZWA.org. ALZWA.org to register.
Rob Leroy, we appreciate your time this morning, and I think that with the numbers as overwhelming as they are, there's going to be a lot of people in central Washington, the Yakima area, that are going to look forward to maybe some respite and refreshing their spirit and learning some new techniques and information to help them do a better job of caring for their loved ones. So we appreciate your time.
Thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing everyone on the 4th.